Accurate.
On World News Tonight this Sunday, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee calls on President Clinton to step down. But the president isn't listening.
I have no intention of resigning.
Trying to salvage the Mideast peace accord as Palestinians prepare for the first visit by a U.S. president. And the growing scandal over the selection of the Olympic host cities. New accusations of bribery.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, Sunday. Sitting in for Carol Simpson and reporting from London, Elizabeth Vargas.
Good evening. Congressional representatives who are still hoping to hear President Clinton admit that he lied were disappointed again today. The president insisted once more that he did not commit perjury and that he will not resign. The president is in Israel, but as ABC's Sam Donaldson reports, the political story at home dominated the day.
At a news conference today with Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Clinton insisted again he had not committed perjury. But he sounded like a man almost resigned to losing the House floor vote this week on impeachment.
Mr. President,
the very first question was from an Israeli reporter. What about the Judiciary Committee vote, and might he now resign?
My reaction to the committee vote is that I wasn't surprised. I think it's been obvious to anyone who was following it for weeks that that vote was foreordained. And now it is up to the members of the House of Representatives to vote their conscience on the Constitution and the law, which I believe are clear. And I have no intention of resigning. It's never crossed my mind.
The president said he will not personally reach out to undecided House members, but if they call him, he'll talk to them. But he will not do what some want him to do. He will not admit he has committed perjury.
No, I can't do that because I did not commit perjury. Now, was the testimony in the deposition difficult and ambiguous and unhelpful? Yes, it was. That's exactly what I said in the grand jury testimony myself.
As for Judiciary Chairman Hyde and the Republican leadership refusing to allow a floor vote on censure,
I think you ought to ask them whether they're opposed to it because they think that it might pass, since apparently somewhere around 3/4 of the American people think that's the right thing to do.
One of the undeclared House Republicans, New York's Rick Lazio, who is along on this trip, was unmoved.
What the president needs to do is to say two simple words to the American public: I lied, to begin to get this past.
Here in Jerusalem today, the president visited the gravesite of assassinated Prime Minister Rabin. He laid a stone from the Wye River plantation. He watched a child light a Hanukkah candle. He addressed the Israeli people, one of whom wore a Monica look-alike beret as Israeli television kept showing. And he dined with Prime Minister Netanyahu, who is continuing to make the case for the release of the American who spied for Israel.
Jonathan Pollard did something bad and inexcusable. We think that he should have served his time, and he did. He served for close to 13 years. And all that I appeal to President Clinton for is merely a humanitarian appeal.
Tomorrow, the president goes to Gaza, the first U.S. president to do that, to watch as the Palestinian Assembly completes the process of eliminating from its charter clauses that call for the destruction of Israel. That's the real reason why he's here, to help in the peace process. Important enough, his aides say, to prevent Mr. Clinton from spending full time this week on trying to keep his job back there. Sam Donaldson, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Rescuing the peace accord will not be easy. The violence in the region has not let up during the president's visit. Today on the West Bank, Israeli soldiers clashed with Palestinians. As Sam reported, the president heads to Gaza tomorrow, and ABC's Gillian Findley is there.
Mention the name Bill Clinton in the crowded, squalid refugee camps of Gaza, and you'll get a response that might surprise you.
He understands Palestine problem, Palestine people more than other presidents.
This is a place that used to burn American flags. Today they are flying them, celebrating Mr. Clinton, and priding themselves on what they call their new partnership with the United States.
It feels like this is the first time for the Americans to stand beside the Palestinians.
In part, it's the afterglow of the peace agreement Mr. Clinton brokered. It was the man Israelis call the most pro-Israel president ever, listening carefully to the Palestinian leaders, sometimes siding with them against Israel. That was followed by a U.S.-sponsored international donors conference that raised the Palestinians billions of dollars in foreign aid. And then there's the belief among Palestinians that the Clintons, plural, understand their dream of an independent state. The First Lady said as much in a satellite address to school children back in May.
I think that it will be in the long-term interests of the Middle East for Palestine to be a state.
While U.S. officials at the time were quick to call her controversial remarks personal opinions, Palestinians were thrilled.
After her declaration that she's supporting a Palestinian state, I think she's more popular even than Clinton himself.
But even on the eve of the visit, that popularity has limits. This is still one of the poorest places on earth. Peace hasn't changed that. Nor does everyone feel that the president's historic trip is motivated by concern for Palestinians.
This visit will help Clinton after his problem with Monica, so I feel that it's for his propaganda.
Nevertheless, when Mr. Clinton lands his helicopter at Gaza's new international airport tomorrow, he'll be treated to a hero's welcome. Palestinians are reading a lot into this visit and expecting a lot from Clinton in the future. Gillian Finley, ABC News, Gaza.
Mrs. Clinton has her own schedule in the Middle East. On this first night of Hanukkah, she helped light a menorah and a Ramadan lamp at a school in a town west of Jerusalem where Arabs and Jews live together. There is no sign back in Washington today that the White House is winning converts in the House of Representatives, which decides this week whether Mr. Clinton should become only the second president in history to be impeached. ABC's Carla Davis has the latest from the Capitol.
Today, Judiciary Committee Chairman Henry Hyde urged the president to do, quote, the heroic thing and resign.
If he cares about the country, and I know he does, I think it would save the country a lot of turmoil and tumult.
Americans oppose impeachment and favor censure, according to the latest ABC News poll. But that is not swaying Republicans in Congress.
If Jesus Christ had taken a poll, he would never have preached the gospel.
Republican determination to rule out censure seems certain now that Robert Livingston, the incoming Speaker of the House, has weighed in.
A censure is a penalty, and it's not our job to assess penalties. Our job is simply to bring the charges or not bring the charges.
Refusal to even consider censure has frustrated Democrats.
They're obsessed, apparently, with impeaching this president and dragging the country through this endlessly.
Democrats are now looking for help from undecided Republicans who say they are facing mounting pressure from all sides, including their own party, although the majority whip denies twisting any arms.
It's my job to gather intelligence and be the eyes and ears for the leadership.
Mr. DeLay says his count indicates a 50-50 chance Mr. Clinton will be impeached. And with the issue scheduled to hit the House floor in just 3 days, both sides are trying frantically to change those odds. Carla Davis, ABC News, Washington.
Still ahead on World News Tonight this Sunday, this congressman may not be well known now, but he soon will be. And Puerto Ricans head to the polls to vote on the issue of statehood.
This is World News Tonight Sunday, brought to you by Tums.
Man, that chili was hot.
You got heartburn too?
Yeah.
Want to try these new Pepcid AC chewables?
It says you gotta take it with water. What's the water for? Oh, with Tums you don't need water.
Just because new Pepcid is chewable doesn't mean it works like Tums. Tums calcium knocks out heartburn fast. Pepcid Chewables famotidine has to go through your bloodstream, so it takes 40 minutes just to start working.
You want to go back for water?
Forget the water. Pass the Tums.
I can eat corn on the cob, and I can eat the apples, as long as I've got Super Polygrip on these dentures. I know that it works. I mean, it holds my teeth in place. Using the Super Polygrip, I can continue auctioneering. Bid 35 and now bid 40, now 5, 45 and now bid.
Announcing an amazing discovery. One-A-Day has combined the power of herbs with vitamins to help you during the cold season, support your mood, even memory. New from One-A-Day. Just what you need to feel your best.
Which of these two computers is perfect for you? The one that was built 2 months ago, or this one, which hasn't been built yet? Gateway wants to ask you some questions first. How fast do you want to go? Movie buff? How many kids? Any future Rembrandts? The perfect computer should be exactly what you want it to be. Starting at $999 all the way up to your dream system. Call 1-800-GATEWAY and get more out of the box.
As the full House prepares for this week's historic vote, an unfamiliar face will preside over the proceedings. His name is Ray LaHood, and if you've never heard of him, you soon will. Here's ABC's Mike Von Fremd.
Whether he likes it or not, Congressman Ray LaHood, who's only been in office since 1995, is about to become a household name.
The House will be in order.
The gavel was passed to LaHood because outgoing Speaker Newt Gingrich does not want to end his career presiding over impeachment, and incoming Speaker Bob Livingston doesn't want to start his career that way.
The Speaker, Newt Gingrich, and I agreed that Mr. LaHood is an exemplary member of Congress who's able to reach across the aisle.
Republican leaders think this man from Peoria will play well with the nation, presiding over this week's impeachment vote.
My responsibility in chairing the House will really be to make sure that it's done properly, according to the rules, in a fashion where members feel like, on both sides, that something is not being ramrodded through.
LaHood sharpened his legislative skills as a top aide to former House Leader Bob Michel. The impeachment debate will likely be the ultimate test of keeping order, but LaHood's colleagues say he is unflappable.
LaHood says he's not losing sleep over the upcoming challenge, but said he prayed in his Peoria church today for guidance.
I believe what the House does next week could be the most historic proceedings this century in the House of Representatives.
Democrats who would prefer that this process not take place at all grudgingly admit that if it has to, Ray LaHood is the sort of fair-minded Republican who should preside. Mike Von Fremd, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Now, when it comes to impeachment, just what is the mood outside the Capitol? That depends how far outside you go. We talked to columnists from 3 different regions of the country.
The Northeast is probably the most pro-Clinton section of the country in the sense they don't want to see him thrown out. What surprises me about this is the way the Republicans don't recognize this could be a threat to their holding not only the House but the Senate. There are more Republican senators up for re-election in the year 2000 than there are Democrats. And with a presidential cycle coming up when turnout is larger, that tends to benefit Democratic candidates, I think it's likely the Republicans will lose the House and possibly even the Senate if the House votes to make the Senate put this guy on trial.
People made up their minds about Bill Clinton as far back as 1992. They heard about Gennifer Flowers. They heard about the draft. They knew what they were getting when they elected this guy, and they elected him, and they re-elected him. And so I think this notion that people are going to suddenly wake up and it's going to dawn on them that Bill Clinton has cut corners and that he hasn't been fully truthful. We know this, and people knew it a long time ago, and based on that knowledge, decided they were going to elect him anyway.
There is more support for the impeachment process in the South than probably in any other region of the country. I'm fairly convinced that what seems to be happening is the right course. I think the House is going to impeach him. And as in the case of Andrew Johnson, kids will learn that this president was not convicted and served out his term, but he will serve out his term with quite a stain, and the references in the encyclopedias will always say in the first 2 sentences that he was the second president to be impeached.
Some opinions from outside the Beltway. Coming up, the Olympic scandal that just keeps growing.
There are different kinds of smart. There's fashion smart. There's book smart. But if you want to be street smart, get yourself a Cavalier during the Chevy Make Your Money Count year-end event. AAA calls Cavalier a top car, Money Magazine a best buy. And with low 0.9% APR financing or big cash back, you'll call Cavalier the smart choice. You'll find great deals on other Chevy cars and trucks too. Hey, the more you know, the better Cavalier looks at your Chevy dealers Make Your Money Count year-end event. It's the season for you.
I'm 64. Is there anything I can do to stop bone loss?
Absolutely. Here's proof. In a landmark clinical study, Caltrate actually stopped bone loss in women at risk for osteoporosis, whatever your age.
It's never too late for Caltrate.
Life's an adventure because you're over 50 and still exploring. So take the Centrum made just for you, Centrum Silver, with age-essential nutrients specially adjusted to keep pace with your changing nutritional needs. Centrum Silver, it's a great time to be silver.
When they said the world didn't need another nose strip, we said we'll make one that gives instant relief of nasal congestion symptoms and is ergonomically contoured for a good fit. Introducing Clear Passage nose strips. After all, we're the maker of the Afrin brand, and who knows more about the nose?
Want to have a party? Want to make a splash? Get a holiday party platter from Red Lobster. Shrimp, crab claws, and more. Ready to go in an hour. Escape to Red Lobster for your party platter.
Nobody does it like you.
Wind Tunnel by Hoover is here. Tests show it picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright, including all bagless brands.
Nobody
Wind Tunnel by Hoover
does it like you.
What's the real fun of cookie making? Decorating. So leap to the fun part faster with Pillsbury. Roll it out, cut it out, then have some holiday fun with Pillsbury Sugar Cookie Dough, the fast way to a big finish.
The head of the International Olympic Committee today promised to expel any member found guilty of accepting bribes. It is just the latest development in the growing scandal that first came to light 3 days ago. Here's ABC's Hillary Brown.
3 years after Salt Lake City won its bid to host the Olympics, came an admission today that several members of the powerful IOC, the International Olympic Committee, were effectively bribed for their votes.
I apologize to the Olympic family and to the citizens of Utah for the embarrassment caused by the bid committee program.
A $400,000 scholarship program was set up to benefit the relatives of 6 IOC members, mostly from Africa. Utah will not lose the Olympics. More disturbing were charges yesterday by a member of the IOC Inner Circle, Mark Hodler, who said there was a pattern of bribery in the selection of at least 3 former Olympic cities, Atlanta, Nagano, and Sydney. He cited payoffs of up to $5 million. The scandal has shaken the powerful committee to its overprivileged core. The IOC Vice President, Dick Pound, said there will be a full inquiry into all allegations.
What we are concerned with is the possibility that there may or there may not have been inappropriate conduct.
Today, Hodler said he's been muzzled by the IOC president.
Apparently I say too much.
Hodler said he hopes his charges will lead to a reform of the Olympic selection process, in which the welfare of the athletes is the last consideration. Hillary Brown, ABC News, London.
Up in space today, the Endeavour astronauts released the fledgling International Space Station. The next order of business, preparing for Tuesday's trip home. Still ahead, the vote that could help make Puerto Rico the 51st state.
Denture wearers, look who's starring for Polident. Me, Florence Henderson. Just smell all that mint. Polident fights denture odor while it cleans tough stains. Take a tip from Florence. Get minty fresh Polident to fight denture odor every day.
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. 1 capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with 1 daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
The North Star System, performance and technology that set Cadillac apart from every other luxury car in the world. Now, for a limited time during the Cadillac Performance Drive, a 1999 DeVille with the North Star System can be yours for just $499 a month and just $999 due at lease signing. DeVille for just $499 a month, a powerful way to set yourself apart during the Cadillac Performance Drive. See your Cadillac dealer today.
So I get this mail from Progressive saying they have a smart new way to shop for auto insurance.
Progressive, can I help you?
They give you their rates plus the rates of several other companies. I wonder whose rates are going to be lowest.
It looks like you could save over $200 if you went with...
What? You're an insurance company?
Hey, we know how hard it is to shop for auto insurance. A lot of times we're the lowest. Sometimes we're not.
That's not what I expected from an insurance company. And then he said, well, maybe you should.
Call 1-800-AUTO-PRO or your authorized independent agent.
There was a drop in violent crimes nationwide over the first 6 months of the year, according to the latest preliminary statistics from the FBI. Robberies nationwide were down 11%, murders dropped 8%, and there was a 5% decline in rapes and aggravated assaults. For the second time in 5 years, the people of Puerto Rico today voted on the issue of statehood. The island was annexed by the U.S. a century ago and is now a U.S. Commonwealth. But today's vote could lead to a change of status. ABC's Steve Osunsami is in San Juan.
The vote brought the entire island of Puerto Rico to a standstill. Businesses shut down, and until the polls closed, no liquor was served or sold. Governor Pedro Rosselló cast his ballot in a San Juan elementary school. He hopes Puerto Rico becomes the 51st state, which he feels would bring prosperity to nearly 4 million Puerto Ricans, half of whom live in poverty.
Every time that a territory has become a state, in every occasion, the economy has improved.
In this election, the ballot included 5 choices. The 2 leading voices were statehood and remaining a Commonwealth of the United States. Supporters of the status quo are led by San Juan Mayor Sila Calderon.
We cherish and respect the United States. We want to be united to the United States, but we want to remain Puerto Ricans.
The decision has deeply divided the island, with some people arguing Puerto Rico should become a separate nation.
Most Puerto Ricans would like to be independent, but fear has been instilled into them.
That fear is over economics. The island is already dependent on the U.S., and statehood promises at least 8 new voices in Congress. The question today was whether the money that representation could bring is worth possibly losing Spanish language and culture. Puerto Rico's status will ultimately be decided by Congress and the president. But no one here is sure how much influence today's vote will have. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Morris K. Udall, a 30-year veteran of Congress and one of its most outspoken liberal voices, has died. Udall died late yesterday in Washington after a long battle with Parkinson's disease. Udall, who was always known as Mo, represented the state of Arizona for 3 decades. He was an ardent defender of the environment. In 1996, Udall's son accepted the Presidential Medal of Freedom on his father's behalf. Today, President Clinton called Udall a leader of uncommon wisdom, wit, and dedication. It may be the wit for which he is most remembered.
I know it's tough, but remember the old politician's prayer, which says, "O Lord, teach us to utter words that are gentle and tender, because tomorrow we may have to eat them."
Mo Udall was 76 years old. In Florida today, Buddy McKay was sworn in as the state's 41st governor. McKay, the former lieutenant governor, replaced Lawton Chiles, who died yesterday. McKay is in for a short term. Governor-elect Jeb Bush takes over next month. When we come back, the family that knows how to have a real blast.
Teddy Gibbs can't let a sore throat stop him, even when it feels this raw. He toughs it out through the hacking cough, the aches, the fever. But when the job is done, he's desperate for fast, powerful Theraflu relief. With the first sip of that soothing lemony hot liquid, he feels comfort instantly. Soon his throat feels calmed, his cough quieted. Maximum strength Theraflu, now in new cherry sore throat and cough. Instant comfort, powerful relief.
Time is running out on Buick Swing into 99. And for a short time only, we've got numbers that'll make your head spin. Low 0.99 APR financing on every 99 Buick for an average finance savings of up to $4,200. And a new twist, no monthly payments for 99 days. But these numbers won't be around much longer, so better jump now. Swing into your Buick dealer today.
I want to keep my smile for life, don't you?
But everybody has plaque, the leading cause of gum disease. 3 out of 4 people will have some form of gum disease in their lifetime. You can do something about it. Interplaque by Conair is clinically proven to remove nearly all plaque, even below the gum line. Its unique cleaning action can actually reverse gum disease. And now the totally cordless Odyssey, clutter-free. Recharge in any outlet in as little as 10 minutes. ADA accepted Interplaque by Conair. Keep your smile for life.
Tonight, the chance to own a home of your own, no matter how little money you have. Thousands believed it.
They were promising we can get in with no down payment.
But was it just an elaborate scam? Plus, a national mystery. Dozens of murders along the railroad tracks of America. Who's doing it? A 2020 investigation followed by an all-new Practice. ABC Tonight.
A major upset in sports today. The Denver Broncos lost to the New York Giants, ending the Broncos' 18-game winning streak. It also ended their dream of matching the 72 Dolphins' perfect season. At the box office this weekend, Star Trek Insurrection powered its way to the top of the list. It made more than $22 million in its first weekend. A Bug's Life took second place, followed by the movie Jack Frost. Finally, tonight, this weekend in Chicago, an old housing project came tumbling down, another implosion. Stacy Loiseau and her family have been imploding structures for more than half a century, more than 7,000 structures, in fact. So we decided to look at just what it takes to bring down a big building from the point of view of the demolitionist, Stacy Loiseau.
The feeling you get watching a building come down is absolutely incredible. Your senses are picking up so many different things. The trick is to make the building fall where you want it to and how you want it to. And that is the secret sauce, I guess, of what we do, the timing, the placement. And it takes a lot of finesse. This particular project here in Chicago, we're taking down 4 17-story high-rise buildings. Throughout the 4 buildings, we've drilled approximately 2,700 holes. Throughout those, we'll be putting in about 900 pounds of explosives. Also, we'll be using 12,000 feet of detonating cord. Building naturally wants to fall a certain way. We're just going to help it go in the direction we want it to. Now I'm going to move back and begin the wiring portion. And what that entails is actually physically connecting each one of these individual charges together so that we have one complete circuit that we can then push one button and detonate the entire complex. There's definitely a certain level of respect that comes along with a job of this nature. I mean, what we're doing is very physical work, very long hours, very late nights. People consider us sort of the traveling executioners, and a lot of times we get blamed for taking these buildings out of their misery, but they have to. I mean, when something becomes unsafe or it becomes too costly to renovate, there's no other way to do it.
I'm going to push it on 2. 9, 8.
I think the thing about implosion that draws a crowd and keeps drawing crowds is that it is so unbelievable to stand there and watch the building melt right before your eyes. At the end of the day, when the building's on the ground and everything's gone well and our client's happy, there's such a sense of pride, such a sense of relief almost. Yeah, we got another one down, and it's incredible.
A point of view from demolitionist Stacy Loiseau. And that is our report for tonight. Later on 2020 Sunday, a look at an epidemic of random killings along America's freight trail lines that police can't solve. And tomorrow on Good Morning America, an interview with Heisman Trophy winner Ricky Williams. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. Good night.
Monday, routine operations that could be deadly. Cosmetic surgery performed by doctors without formal training. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jones.
Tonight, put these people out of business. The fate of the firm is in the jury's hands. An all-new Practice. ABC Tonight, 10/9 Central, right after 2020.